right. Part two. This is the hard part. This is the hard part because this is when you have to find the positive.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that don't feel positive, right? But everything gives you a learning opportunity, right?
Yep.
A wise man once said, "Sometimes you're drinking wine, and sometimes you're smashing grapes."
Well,
We did a lot of grape smashing this weekend,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
But it's just the beginning. So we're gonna do this particular episode is gonna be about the 3 games we played this weekend. Then we will do a follow-up episode. Should be short when the My Hockey rankings are updated, and then we can just do a division wrap up. So does that sound good?
Sounds really good.
All right. So Friday's game at Strongsville. I was really optimistic going into this game.
So was I.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be, we talked about it. I thought it was going to be a really close affair. It didn't turn out that way. So just looking at the overall stat line, and then we'll get into it. We had Trey in goal, and our game captain was Theo Molesky. Parma 2, Strongsville Mustangs 6. Total shots, Parma 22, Strongsville 31. Trey's save rate was, let's call it 81%. Where the goalie for Strongsville was about 91% save rate. And then for penalties, we had 2 and they had 3. Penalties were a big part of every story this weekend.
Sure was.
Absolutely.
A lot of penalties.
And I mean, not even considering the stoppage penalties, icing, offsides. It's the penalties where people were spending time in the box.
Right.
So overall, Strongsville. Before we go into a period by period snapshot or breakdown, or maybe we can even start there. What are your overall thoughts of that game?
I think in the beginning of the game, we started off relatively good. I thought we were prepared and ready to play. I think a lot of parents in the stands were talking about how the kids looked, and typically like those Friday night games after being in school all day, they came out focused. Same thing kind of happened though, as happened a lot this year, which is we let a couple in and then the balloon became deflated. And then you could tell we definitely started playing a little bit more sloppy, maybe not hustling as much as we wanted to. But again, remember we talked about the 5 keys of this season is entries and exits. We struggled mightily in that game. We had a lot of issues getting it in. We did have some good defensive plays, some good offensive plays, but I think from a general perspective, still a big issue is to dump and chase. We dump, don't chase, but entries and exits were definitely an issue again.
Yeah, and I think that is a theme that comes across in all 3 of these games. It's just going to get mentioned. But, just thinking about that game, so the first period, Parma up 1-0. Judah had a goal, an assist by Richie, really nice pass and a really nice goal. And it was a shorthanded goal, right?
Yep.
But it put us up 1-0, and you're right, we looked totally different in the first period versus the second and third period of that game.
Yep.
Grayson had 2 really good breakaway opportunities. The first time they were able to catch up to him and dirty up his stick. He couldn't really get a shot off. Then he had another opportunity later in that period. But Trey was fantastic in that period.
Sure.
He was really good in that period. Fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
Just faced 10 shots, and really gave up nothing. Right. He had a really good first period. But
absolutely.
I don't know. Do you have any other notes on that first period?
I think we're still having some issues getting in and out of the zone. There's a lot of backhand exits, a lot of chips up, not hard on the stick, pushing the puck. You remember you mentioned last time passing with intent or getting it around the rink with intent. Again, we do these backhanded like little chip up plays, and it's like we're giving it back to the other team. Mm-hmm. You're almost better off just smashing it down there, take the icing. It really doesn't affect this level of play at, like not on like a high school level or college or even pro, but smash the thing up the ice and make it ricochet off somebody. Those are the types of things that create hustle plays to get on the other end. And then the other thing is like we were taking shots early in that game. We were passing so good. There were some blue line shots. We actually took a few, still not enough. A lot of those open lanes and not enough crashing of rebounds.
Yeah. Yeah. And the first period was the best period. Obviously, we came out 1-0 on top, but then that's when, the second period is when the levee kind of started to break. And then it never really got sealed up after that.
Nope.
It was pretty tough. So the second period, Parma 0, Strongsville 3. We only mustered 6 shots in that entire period, and then they had 12, so they doubled us in the amount of shots. When we gave up 3 goals, 2 of which were unassisted goals.
Yep.
And that's where you started to see that they were getting way too clean of shots on Trey. Trey started. That's when he was facing a shooting gallery.
Yeah, it's unfair to Trey. I mean, in some regard, I'm not calling anybody out, but the play from the 5 that are skating on the ice is to protect the goalie, and I feel like a lot of this season, for the most part, we've had moments where we've protected him really well, and then we have other moments where, we've kind of let people just fly by and they're Trojan horse, but they're not surprising us. They're going right at us.
Yeah, that's just it. Yeah. They're not making great plays, passing across the ice and getting a phenomenal shot off. They're just odd man rushes.
Yeah.
And there was a ton of that in the second period in Strongsville. Those 3 goals in the second period were the first 3 of 6 straight goals they scored.
Did you notice on some of those goals that our defenders were really far up into the offensive zone when we had the puck in our zone, where the defenders weren't really guarding the blue line? They were a little bit too far forward. I felt like there were multiple times where our defenders were too far up, created some of those odd man rushes.
Yeah, and I wonder what sucks our defenders up in the offensive zone, right? What is happening on the play? Is somebody out of, and I don't know. I didn't go back and watch, right? I'm watching it live and taking, a handful of notes.
Yeah.
The rest of it is a memory.
Yeah.
But, is somebody out of position and then a defender moves up because the puck ends up on that side and there's nobody there to pick it up, right? And then to your point, now I only have 1 defender back.
Yep.
And as soon as it's 2-on-1, you're in trouble.
Absolutely.
That defender that's skating backwards, trying to, make sure that one of those 2 people ends up picked up, right? That's a tough position to be in.
Definitely tough.
Yeah. And we did end that period on a power play. We just couldn't get it turned into anything. I don't know if there's anything else in that particular period you have a note on or anything.
Nope.
Okay. And then the third was really kind of more of the same in the second.
Exactly.
We did have 1 goal. Judah did get a second goal of the game. They had 3, which is where we end up with our 6-2. Both teams with 9 shots in that goal, or in that game. I'm sorry, I'm really screwing this up. Thank you for getting me square on that one. But if you had to distill or boil that game down to its basis, I think you did a really good job talking about it when we talked about the first period. But what do you see were the opportunities?
Effort.
Yeah.
100%. The biggest takeaway from most of the games that we have lost is effort. I really feel like we come out sometimes really on fire. And when we get down, we haven't found that moment where we can claw back yet. I don't know if it's a team thing. I don't know if there's maybe some defeatism in this. When you get down a little bit, you got to be able to crawl back. And I think it's going to take a game where they actually believe that they can do it.
Yeah.
And hopefully that comes sooner than later.
Yeah, you need not your coach, right? Obviously your coach, but in this scenario, you need somebody to want to step up to be that leader. It's like, we're not out of this,
Yep.
I think yesterday, and we'll get to that, I thought, there was some of that in the third period.
Yep.
But it was a car wreck at that point.
It was.
For so many reasons. But You're right. Like you need a voice on that bench that isn't the coach that just gets everybody to believe like, hey, we're down, but we're not out.
Exactly.
Right.
This the saying in hockey is a 2-goal lead is unsafe.
Yeah.
So I hope that if your kids are watching this, if you go down 2, the game's not over. Even if you go down 3, the game's not over. It just requires more effort.
Yeah. I think for me, the biggest things, first period aside, because it was a really good first period, we just could not clear the defensive zone.
Nope.
We just couldn't get the puck out of the zone and through the neutral zone. And we already mentioned this too, just way too allowing Strongsville to have way too many breakaways.
Yep.
And odd man rushes. And like I said, Trey was just facing it down. So that's really all I have to say about Strongsville. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Saturday, Kent, Caden in goal. Scrimmage with Kent. Our game captain was Reagan, who got the game puck from the night before. That game finished at 4-3 Parma. 26 shots for Parma, 17 for Kent. Caden had a save rate of .823, and Kent's goalie .846. We had 3 penalties, and they had 2, again, penalties, and really good goalie play, particularly on the other team.
Sure.
That's not just even statistically.
Yeah, he
right?
faced a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a lot of good opportunities in that game.
Yeah. What are your thoughts overall about it?
Well, the first line, I think, was Reagan, Richie, and Sam, and defense was Luca and Henry. They started the game, and honestly, that was some of the best hockey I've seen them play all year. There were confidence in their passes. There was wing to blue line to the other side of the blue line, and they were creating all kinds of confusion. It actually opened up a lot of shot opportunities for the blue liners. I feel like this was by far the best game. The defense, from an offensive standpoint, they were slinging it down there. There's a lot of great passing at the beginning of this game, I just really do think that, like, the way that game started, I was like, hey, we're watching legit hockey.
Yeah.
It looked very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said a lot of things that I have here in the notes. Kent did score first. They were on the power play. They took advantage of it, got on the board. I think we won. I'm not taking anything away from the victory. I think that's a game that we were passing so well and getting a lot of good shots off that we really could have.
You could have run it up on them.
We had so many opportunities where goals were this close to happening. At least 3 that I can remember where it's like, I cannot believe that didn't go in.
Right.
That's what I meant about their goalie play was really good.
It was.
For sure.
Yep.
You said it. The good, clean, crisp passing was the first time we had seen with confidence our wings serving up our blue liners passing. And you could see it in the first period how big the ice looked.
Absolutely. It was huge.
Yeah.
We were spread out. We were in position, and you're sliding it like literally, like if you watch a NHL power play.
Yeah.
Just bing, 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 all over the place.
Yeah.
And you could see the other team was like, oh, crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we got all these open lanes, and and that, I think we should learn from that, obviously. So yeah, it was good.
You said it perfectly, and that's what I was thinking to myself. Like if you watch an NHL game, you have 10 massive dudes out there skating around, and they can make it look like there's so much open ice. It's really amazing to see.
Sure.
And that's what our kids were generating by moving that puck around. They were decisive. They were making really good decisions and moving the puck around, and it was creating, like, I remember at one point in time, Kent had like 4 of their people just like bunched up in the middle, and every one of our kids was exactly where they were supposed to be, just passing around them, making them look silly.
It was a great game.
Yeah, really good game. I thought the communication was phenomenal. I can't think of another game or scrimmage our kids played this year where I saw them talking to each other as much as they were.
Yeah.
In that first period, I remember Richie coming up to Sam before a face-off. And I remember seeing Evan and Theo talking about something when they were in the neutral zone before a face-off. Like, there was a lot of communication between the kids. So whatever it was in that game that was getting them to see things they were seeing, try things they were trying, and communicating, we need more of that.
Absolutely.
We need that on-ice communication.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah, so they had 2 power play opportunities in the first. They did take advantage of one, but there we go. And then we broke the levee open in the second period. We had 3 goals to their 1. The goals, Judah from Theo on a power play. That was one that, if I remember this goal correctly, like they were digging hard at that in front of the net. Like it was just laying in front of the crease.
Yeah, it was a slot pass.
Yeah.
I think it was a slot. One of those goals was a pass to the slot that was buried.
Yeah, really nice. And then the second goal was Judah from Theo again. And then the third goal, Judah got his hat trick, an unassisted goal there. But again, more of the same in terms of what was working and moving the puck around.
Absolutely.
Do you have any notes there on the second period?
Nope, that's it.
All right. And then the third is when Henry had the game winner. I thought that was an awesome goal.
Sure.
And it came from back near the blue line and opening those lanes up, right? Mm-hmm. And you could just see, like, when that goal went in, how excited they were to take that lead back.
Absolutely.
So, finished the game at 4-3. Kent did have 1 goal in each period. I didn't mention the shots here, but in the first period, we outshot them 11-4. Second period, we outshot them 12-8. And then the third period, only 3 shots to 5.
Yeah.
Not a lot happening in the third period there.
No. It might have been contributed to being tired. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But I thought that was an awesome game winner goal to take the lead and just finish it out.
Yep.
And then what do you think about overall in that game? Big picture, boil it down.
I mean, they definitely played like I think a higher level A3. It was a very tight game. I think the way that they passed was good. We had a couple of defensive leaks that caused some of those goals where people may have been slightly a little bit out of position. That one of them definitely was a breakaway because somebody was like too far up. I guess the biggest takeaway, like an area to get better, is to make sure our defenders are staying home. Sometimes I feel like we creep up a little bit too far, and I'm not saying go back to playing in the neutral zone,
right?
But inside the blue line, I felt like we did a good job of keeping the puck in the zone. Also, the defenders like chipped it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. It was literally the exact opposite of the Strongsville game,
which was great to see next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only 2 things I would add. We got to stay out of the box. We gave them 3 power play opportunities, right? Just things that was just keep 5 men on the ice as much as possible, right? And then the other thing is really kind of a new thing to talk about. But as passing gets better and we're passing more, that just means you got to be ready to receive a pass.
Sure.
Like there's no downtime.
Stick on the ice, ready to go.
Stick on the ice.
It's coming.
You
Be
have
prepared.
to be anticipating it for sure. That's really all I have against Kent.
Let's get to the firecracker.
I don't even have any notes.
I got notes. I got plenty of notes.
I'll give the stat. I'll give the line, and then I'm going to give the stats as they are. I'm not taking a goal away. I'm none of that. I'm just like, this is what gets put down in the book.
Saw you posted that. By the way, check out the YouTube channel to see that goal.
Doink.
Yep. That's all I got to say about that.
So Trey in goal. And the game captain was Henry, who got the MVP from the night before, getting that game winner. Elyria 6, Parma 2, ended up being the final. This is truly a game, and we're going to get into it, but you cannot ignore that it was a 1-period game.
Absolutely.
Shots, Elyria had 29 shots to Parma's 18. And
Trey was under duress the entire time.
Trey was under duress. And then penalties. 8
Yeah.
for Parma.
Only 8?
Only 8.
All right.
Only 8 official penalties to their 4.
I think it was sloppy in general. One thing I remember talking to you over by the score table is that first period, it was 0-0, right? That was probably and I remember telling you, is that we were playing with such physicality without having penalties. Now we did, I think we had 1 or 2 in the first period. In my opinion, they were ticky-tack calls, probably could have not been called. However, we set them up and we had them frustrated, and they committed a ton of penalties out of frustration. So as far as that battle was going, we were winning that game in that first period. As that first period ended, we were in the best position possible to win that hockey game because, excuse me, of that effort. And not only did we frustrate them to make them commit penalties, you could tell that they were frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We were in their head.
No doubt.
Yes.
Like I will guarantee you, they remembered that game from October when they shellacked us in their barn,
Absolutely.
their stupid low light barn. And that first period continued. As it continued, they were making mistakes.
Oh, for sure.
They were frustrating their coaches on the bench.
Oh, for sure.
And they were clearly frustrated with us on the ice.
Absolutely.
Because they thought it was going to be a cakewalk.
They thought it was going to be a cakewalk,
Yeah.
but we came out and we started playing.
Yeah. I mean, the first period all weekend
It was good.
was really good.
Yeah.
Something happened in the second period in this game that completely changed the dynamic of the game. They stole it back.
I think that what separates them from us is 100% that they have confidence that they can come out there and play their game. Maybe it was a good pre-second period discussion with their coach. Maybe putting a foot in the butt, as you want to call it, and maybe it caused them to actually start to change how they play, because I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like our kids got a little laxed in that second period, and obviously 5 goals in that second period, a lot of breakaways, a lot of chippies, we made it way too easy for them, right? I feel like we kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit, but they're a really good team. So what do you think they do? They're gonna continue to play their game.
Yep.
And obviously that second period turned into being what it was.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. 5 goals to none, 14 shots to 2.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That's a stat line that is not ever going to be a formula for success, right?
Yep.
But you said it, like they found their mojo early in that second period and just built on it.
Absolutely.
And then the third period, you and I talked about it. We saw it coming. Like this is, I think you even said
something's gonna happen.
Something's gonna happen.
That's why I said, because you could see the chippiness.
Yeah.
Like our kids were frustrated. They were frustrated. There was a lot, you could tell just by way they were attacking each other.
Yeah.
I did not foresee it turning into how it kind of ended, which was completely one-sided, us being, penalty driven, taking shots, slashing, hooking, tripping, doing all those things. Body checks was another big one.
Yeah.
We got tons
bench
of
penalty.
Bench penalties, right.
Yeah.
But we started getting scrappy in that third period. And then obviously, we're going to talk about Mike,
Yeah.
we talk about that goal that you posted, right?
Yeah.
And obviously Mike got tossed, which, you know what, I'm going to say it. I don't care. I respect that. And I'm going to tell you why. These kids need to know that their coach is fighting for them. And then what do you think that we saw after that happened? You were watching, right? You saw what happened. What happened to our kids?
Well, I mean, they got fired up. I mean, Theo had that unassisted goal.
Right.
My favorite hockey celebration: stand in the corner, everybody meets you at the glass. That's my favorite. I'll take that over an individual celly any day.
No showboating.
Yeah, I mean that's pure excitement. That's pure joy. Theo had that goal and pounded his chest and kind of kind of what we talked about and we wanted to see in that Strongsville game. Like somebody just show the rest of the team like we're down, but we're not out. Let's not be out.
Right.
But I think emotionally, the game, look, all these games are emotional for everybody, the parents, the kids, the coaches, right? You care about it, right? But it's hard to expect an 11 or 12-year-old to like emotionally check themselves and get back into the game when S had hit the fan by then.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, we had 2 goals in that third period.
Well, that's where it comes down to exactly what you said earlier, is you need a leader to step up. That's not a coach. And I'm going to say it. The second year Pee-wees that watch this or listen to this, honestly, guys, that's you. You guys have the most experience on this team. You're playing with younger players. Galvanize those kids. Pump nothing but good things into those kids.
Yeah.
Talk them up. Tell them they got it. And that goes for you guys. You got to believe in your abilities, because every parent that you talk to knows that their kid has a ceiling, knows how good they can be, and what is expected, right? And I really, truly feel that somebody needs to step up other than Mike, right? A true captain, per se. Like where, hey, we're down, we got this, right? There's a couple things I do want to call out in that game, okay? Number one was the dumping and chasing in that second period. The first period was really good. Second period, the defensemen were dumping it in, and our forwards were so lazily skating into those corners. It's like either they were out of breath, they were gassed, they were tired, or something else was going on. It's like they kind of just coasted in there, and you know what happened? A good team like Elyria, what do you think they got? They got their feet moving, and they blew through our zone, and they got a lot of goals in that second period from just effort plays. It's 100% effort plays,
Yeah, our back checking in that in Sunday's game was not good.
No.
It was almost, you could almost say non-existent for most of the game. The back checking was just not good.
Right.
And you're right, they kept their foot on the gas, and it showed with 5 goals in the second period.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they smelled blood, and then it was on. And you could tell it turned into a track meet, right?
Yep.
And we may not be ready for it, but I do believe that our team can hang with them. I really do think so. I just think it's going to take 3 periods of every first period played this weekend. You need to be that aggressive, that, resilient. You got to hustle every period. Like, you're going to leave that rink dead.
Yeah. Yes. Leave
You're like
on
this,
leave on lead legs.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we talked about in our very first episode, we haven't put 3 periods of good hockey together yet.
No.
If you look at every one of these games, the first period on Sunday, the second period, well, really,
First and second period.
Yeah.
That one goal was,
Yeah. And then even in Strongsville, the first period, we've just got to find a way not to have that slump that seems to happen in the second period.
And on,
Yeah.
And then one other thing on that is the camaraderie. So I know I called this out yesterday. As the kids were coming off the ice, they just gave up that 5th goal, right? I forget which child it was. I'm not even going to name names, but he came out and he was trying to fist bump kids, and their heads are like this and they're down.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to say this, and I hope you're listening, and I hope the parents that watch this will go to their parents, or go to their kids, and tell them, you are a team. It doesn't matter about the score of the game. You pick each other up. There is no crap talking. There is no dissing, making fun of. This is a team sport. You win as a team, you lose as a team. So I would really like to see more of a bonding. And ultimately, with this weekend coming up, which we could do a show on the road if you like.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I really want to see that camaraderie running around in the hotel rooms, actually building bonds with one another, because I really, truly think we need that. And it's just to pick each other up, because everybody makes mistakes. I saw it. Our defensemen go up to the goalie, say, hey, that's on us, tap their head. Let's be there for each other, though.
Yeah.
Right? It's a whole team thing, right?
Yeah, I do remember you bringing that up at the scoring table when there was somebody trying to fist bump and everybody else was head down. Look, guys, we're adults. We've literally been through this stuff, right? We've made mistakes like this, right? Simple things, but Rich is right, especially for you second-year players, just by default, because you've already got a season of Pee Wee level hockey under your belt. You have to help the kids that are doing it for the first time just stay motivated. Because if you lose them, you lose half your team.
Absolutely.
Like if you have a kid who's out there making mental mistakes, or maybe just having a bad game, every athlete at every level has bad games.
100%.
But if you pressure them in the wrong way, and I don't know that that's happening,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But if you pressure them in the wrong way, forget about it. Nobody is mentally mature enough yet to rise above that, because you all care about what you all think of each other,
Yep.
right? And it is really hard to remember, like, hey man, next time, hey coach, here's what I'm seeing on the ice.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to make a pass that you think is the right pass to make. If it's turned over and the coach just comes to you and says, hey, what were you thinking? There was somebody on the right. You could say, here's why I made that pass. Here's what I was thinking. I guarantee coach is going to respect that, because it wasn't just a thing on a whim, right? It was something you were able to articulate and why you made that decision. And then you'll get coached up.
Yep.
But that Elyria game, I said in our first podcast, that was the one I was most looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one I want to forget most in my entire life.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons.
Yep.
But I think that has to be the game that galvanizes this team, because you're not a bunch of pushovers.
Yep.
I think you proved that
Yep.
to them, particularly in the first period,
Yep.
and then again in the third period. That was a game of one bad period of hockey.
That's it.
And it was a bad period of hockey.
It was.
Yeah.
That game was really close.
Yeah.
That's all I got on that, though.
That's all I have on that. I have other stuff. It was something. But yeah, it just really stinks that Trey gets that goal pinned on him.
It's all right.
It is what it is, right? It's the stat line.
Yeah.
Shout
Shout out to Nolan, by the way. Appreciate you loving on your kid, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. I don't have anything else. I don't think.
We'll see you this weekend in South Bend.
Yeah. We'll get a picture in front of touchdown Jesus.
Want to do it in front of Touchdown Jesus?
Yeah. Wait, what?
This. I'll bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Hey, Jesus is behind us. Maybe he'll bless us.